All right, man. We are back with one of our best industry friends, in my opinion. So, Seb, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing fantastic, Nathan. How are you doing?
Man, doing very, very well. So we missed you. Obviously, this is August. There was no
Yeah.
summer NAM given COVID-19. We missed you. We wish we would have seen
Yeah.
your face, but seeing it today is like a ray of sunshine.
Oh, Nathan, you're making me blush.
Which, by the way, I'd like T-shirts, and I'm noticing I don't have that T-shirt. Is that black? Is that one
Oh,
black or?
no, this is it's like a dark purple. This is like
Yeah,
2017, man. I don't think
yeah,
we were
that's
even like really
vintage.
talking to each other back
It's
then. It's vintage.
vintage reverb. So
Yeah,
back when it was just what you and three other people doing everything, right?
yeah. I don't go that far back, but I mean it's been 4.5 years, so
Yeah, that's
like,
crazy.
oh, yeah.
4.5 years for you specifically.
For me specifically,
Yeah,
I joined
hmm
January 2016, and I don't
yeah,
think I even like truly got to know you until like 2017, 18.
yeah. That's right. You
Yeah,
you had come around here, but it was always in passing. You were doing something over
yeah,
here. I was doing something over there,
yeah.
but yeah, it's
You had a
been.
funny look about you. I don't know what it
You're
was.
like, who's that guy? But
Yeah.
anyways, but man, you guys have been doing well. I know, like the rest of the world, you guys are kind of adapting and coping to everything going on with COVID-19. So how are you guys doing?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I can answer that two different ways. Like one, just like everyone else, um, obviously no one's expected for it.
Yeah.
No one. You kind of think you know what you do as a person, as a
hmm
business, if there's like a crisis like this.
Yeah.
So it's been like from a work standpoint, it's been really difficult but exciting in a way to kind of figure out new ways of working and how do
hmm
you like we're all working from home at least like at Reverb. So like how can we still function and still make sure that we're offering the service that people come to us for, that we're making sure that marketing emails are going out, that all these different things are happening. So
Yeah.
that's exciting. But from a consumer standpoint, it's I've been pleasantly surprised by the demand for music instruments during this time, and
Oh man.
that's exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, they put out that report. Now I realize, so we felt the same thing. I mean,
Yeah,
there's just no way to get around it. We felt the same thing. When everything hit back in March, we left. We shut down for 2.5 weeks, and then we came back gradually with a very, very small skeleton crew, and then tried to go,
yeah,
okay, now what can we do? And we started coming back, but once the stimulus package got passed through, it was like every musician on the face of the planet said, "Hey, oh, I guess that I can go buy something. I mean, I'm ready to go.
yeah,
I've always wanted that pedal or guitar or whatever." So, and it was
yeah.
crazy. In May, saw 17.7% increase in online retail sales. So
Uh,
you guys didn't expect that, did you?
no, I mean, it's one of those things where like I want to be mindful because like um, I love that people are able to turn to music as a comforting tool during this time, and that's also acknowledge that there's a lot of hardship that other people all around the world are going through, and I love that you know in a time of crisis people turn to music.
Yeah,
It's what we've always done. Rock and roll was born on that.
that's right.
So like on some level you're surprised because you probably think that something like a pandemic would never happen to you. Like that happened back in
Oh yeah.
the medieval times.
Or some other country or something,
Yeah.
but not
Yeah.
here. But of course it
Not,
did. So
it did, and this is how we respond. It's like let's create. And one of the things that I'm looking forward to is like years from now, I'm curious to see what sort of art and music people created during this time.
uh huh.
And just think
Yeah.
like, oh man, like what, like that's awesome. That this really called people to generate something from within to deal with their own personal hardship.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. I mean, people are writing songs probably more than ever. People and the amount of people that are doing online bands has
mhm.
just skyrocketed, and some of
Yeah,
it's fun. It's fun, really fun to
yeah,
watch some of these from amateurs all the way to like Sammy Hagar's on there with a bunch of guys
yeah,
jamming on old songs, and I go, I
exactly.
kind of want to hear that song, Like,
Yeah,
So yeah, so very cool. But yeah, I know COVID-19, and we also have to be realistic. COVID-19 has also been has been very hard for a lot of people. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I know you guys have been adapting to, but you guys have perfected the working at home, right?
You know, that's very brave to say. Perfection is
I was letting
perfection
you.
in and of itself is an imperfection.
That's right. That's exactly right.
But
Yeah.
um, I mean, like everything, man, we just got to adapt,
Hmm.
right? Like we have to evolve, and
Yeah.
and I think that we're even trying to build that in when we talk to our retailers or talk to our customers. It's
Yeah.
like, it could be something where we've had to set expectations for shipping. Like Reverb, we don't control the USPS, UPS, or FedEx, but
Hmm.
obviously at the start of all this, like shipping was an issue.
Yeah.
We didn't know if you can go into the hotspot zones. Like we knew so little about COVID-19. If you think about like April versus like what we know now, and it's
Yeah.
like a lot of it is expectation setting. Like I feel like I'm in a constant role of setting expectations for our customers, not to frustrate them, but to also acknowledge that we are trying to do the best that we can to provide a service and an experience that you rely on, and for our retailers, a sales channel to move your inventory because
Yeah.
you know online is here to stay. I felt that way for a long time. Obviously, I've been
Hmm.
preaching the Reverb gospel for years, but what's happened over the past 6 months is I forget who said this. I know it was some retailer, and I'm not going to be able to remember who it was. So, but like some retailer said, the shift to online has been accelerated by 5 years over the past 6 months. Like we were naturally going there,
Hmm.
but now we're just going to get there faster.
Well, and that's very true, and we see that in real time, even from the fact that a lot of the dealers that MIRC works with. It just depends. We have all different sizes, large businesses, small businesses. Some of them have been reluctant to move online. A lot of them
Yeah,
go, that's not my main source of revenue or the way to move stuff, but I might, if I'm sitting on old inventory, I might start listing it. Well, they found
yeah,
out very quickly. They're like, I've got nobody walking in my store, even if they're
yeah,
allowed to be open. I got nobody walking in
yeah,
my store, and they're going, I've got to put stuff online. And so it forced them to make that shift 5 years within like 30 days.
yeah,
So no,
yeah.
we saw that in real time. So did you find a lot of your dealers were reaching out to you, going, "Hey, how can you help us do this?" Or what were some
Yeah.
things that you guys were doing to try to prepare people for that?
It, you know, I I mean, so many things. I'm trying to figure out like the best examples here. It shouldn't be surprising that obviously retailers or sellers who had a very clear operational system of how they were listing on Reverb,
Hmm.
like they they were able to continue to drive success easier than folks who had maybe put off the switch
Yeah.
prior. I also want to acknowledge that different businesses have been operating at different capacities now because you may not be able to have as many employees, or you might have had to furlough some people. So
Hmm.
even some shops who were good at it, now they need to figure out how to do it with two people as opposed to three
Yeah,
or
that's a
four.
big deal. That is a huge deal, actually.
Yeah, it changes everything. And again, I think it comes back to like expectation setting.
Hmm.
At the end of the day, I feel that people are more patient than we sometimes want to give them credit for. But it comes with being as transparent as possible in terms of like what those expectations are.
Yeah.
Even though USPS delays aren't your fault, mentioning to a buyer that, hey, I'm going to ship this USPS, it's taking about 3 days longer than it normally has
Hmm.
been, is a good expectation
Yeah.
to start setting, and people
Yeah.
respect you more because of it.
Absolutely, and some of the feedback that we got, it was also like the end users, the consumers they were also being realistic. You'd say, "Man,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, this is going to show up later than it should," and people were like, "Hey, man, I get it, I understand," and
yeah,
and that's a good thing. So which I think Reverb has always done a good job of nurturing a community of
yeah,
people, musicians, and and retailers, and so I think everybody was just being realistic at the time. So
yeah.
that's very good. Now,
It
oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I heard this in a NAM webinar, and this is the thing that, it, like I mentioned earlier, the sellers who already had systems in place, it's obviously easier for them to have been more readily successful here.
Hmm.
uh, but I've heard a number of people say that, even if we were to go back to normal and say COVID-19 wasn't a thing anymore, because the shifting consumer expectation now is online,
Yeah.
like
Oh, yeah.
it's been moving that way. I'm sure you use Amazon to buy stuff.
Yes, I do. Or my wife does.
I was going to say the exact same thing. I don't think I've bought anything on Amazon for the past 5 years. I just asked my wife, "Hey, maybe this thing. I need batteries." She's like, "Amazon, perfect."
Amazon, that's right.
There next day. um, Amazon aside, I'm not here to talk about Amazon. But they say, like, even if COVID-19 were to disappear, what could we expect in-store foot traffic to even look like 2 years from now?
Mm-hmm.
And I heard someone say something around like 30%. If we got back to 30% of the in-store traffic we were used to, that would be good. So then I'm thinking, like,
wow,
okay, how else are you going to sell that gear now? It's no longer just going to be in store. We need to diversify, all the different sales channels.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to, is diversification.
Yeah, and you might not even know the answer to this. I think everybody's going, man, I just want things to go back to normal. I don't know anybody who doesn't want everything to go back to normal, but 30% in-store traffic. That feels like that's realistic. But what you're saying is if people want to go back to 30% in-store traffic, then that means that Reverb's going to be used for a lot more than it was in the past for sustaining business.
And it's, and the thing that I like to challenge our customers with is, great, say we get back to 30, say it's wrong, say it's 50, say it's 70%.
Yeah.
Great. What are you going to do about it until then?
Yeah.
Are you going to sit around and wait?
That's exactly right, and that doesn't even account for what kind of market share can you grab with your business and keep some of that online presence as people walk in the store. It's all really, really good stuff to think about. But also at this point in time, what are you guys doing too about integrating potentially with other other services, like Shopify? Obviously people can link together. Are you guys supporting that?
Oh yeah. Fun fact. When I originally got hired at Reverb 4.5 years ago, I was a sales engineer, and I was responsible for integrating shops and whatever POS systems they had to Reverb, just to make that listing of inventory easy.
Yeah.
So I'm very, very happy to say that we have tens of integrations with a number of leading, just like website providers like Shopify, BigCommerce, Magento, all these different plugins that you can immediately sync your inventory from your POS to Reverb. So you get like this near instantaneous inventory.
Yes.
Coming up and down across all your sites. Like
it's brilliant.
It's the way of the future.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is. And even just, people using third party, shipping, for like, hey, it's like all of a sudden I've got guitar players here in town that now have their own t-shirts and hats, they're just, and they're being drop shipped, but this is, I was like, and actually I got a mug from a buddy of mine, that, started his own line of stuff, and I was like, hey, that's kind of cool. But I guess COVID-19 has kind of been a catalyst for that. If you're trying to look for the silver lining in the good news and a lot of this kind of things, but this is ultimately integrating with online sales is a big deal. You would obviously always encourage people to go to Reverb or use the Reverb websites, but you're also going, hey, guess what? If you're not doing that specifically, we can work with you and integrate with what you're working with.
100%. And, we have a team of a handful of people there too, who it is their sole responsibility to work with all of our retailers that the integrations are successful, that any troubleshooting that needs to happen, it's, again, I feel like I speak very warmly about it just because I was a big part of that early on with us. So, it's still, it really is a value add that I think that we, it's just how we approach our customers and our relationship with retailers differently than other websites.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good news. And when I look at, like on some of your news feed, and I see a lot of the behind the scenes pictures of stuff, or even on LinkedIn of stuff that's going on at Reverb, I can't help but think that you guys probably drink really good coffee there. You know, it's like you always have these cool settings and, people look like they're working in these great environments. And I'm like, man, they probably have really good coffee.
It's, I'm not gonna lie, the coffee was pretty good,
Okay.
but we had we had like a massive coffee machine, and it had like buttons and stuff like that. And I was talking to our office manager because she was making a cup of coffee, and I just asked her out of the blue, where it's like, we've had this machine for 3 months. How many cups of coffee do you think it's made? She's like, oh, I can tell you. And she like starts like touching on it,
Yeah.
and she's like, over the past 3 months, this machine has made over 10,000 cups of coffee.
What? You got to be
And
kidding me. You
yeah.
got to be kidding me. My goodness.
Yeah, it
Well,
made like 10,000 cups of coffee. It made, 2,000 cups of hot chocolate, and it made 0 cups of hot water. So
yeah.
nobody was using that coffee machine for tea.
Oh,
Is
okay. Well, that's
my
good.
big takeaway.
Yeah. Ian, note, we need to find out what that machine is, and we need one here. So,
Yeah,
but,
sounds
anyways,
good.
absolutely. But hey, so obviously we need to move in and have a conversation about some big news that happened this summer that started in August.
Absolutely.
So obviously Reverb made a change, and I'll just kind of let you explain
Yeah.
that, and then maybe if we can just have a conversation about that. I think a lot of people will see the value in that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. The long and short of it is, Reverb started in 2013, and the idea was super simple. It was just going to be an online marketplace, just for the music instrument community, and we really wanted to be a site where you can comfortably and safely and securely sell gear. Like we made sure from the very beginning we wanted to have a live support team and musicians. Like that was super important. Like we want you talking to a musician. Two, making sure that we had tailored tools that would fit in with, the MI community. Like
Mm-hmm.
we're a bunch of hagglers, right? You're always going to try and get something a little bit cheaper than what it's probably listed for.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It comes with the territory.
it comes with the territory. And then for buyers specifically, making it easy for you to go and watch and find the gear that it is that you're looking for, the gear of your dreams, and that's what motivates me, like, to come to work every day. It's like, I believe that everyone should make music with the instruments that they want to make music with.
Yeah.
That is just crucial. So, we look at where we are today. We are the largest online marketplace that's dedicated to buying and selling gear. More consumers are buying music instruments than ever before. And, as we discussed earlier, COVID-19 accelerated that in a really, really wonderful way, So the reality is that the change that we were able to make from our fee change, which went up from 3.5% to 5%, 5%, I believe, August 4th is when it went into effect.
Yeah.
We really need to find a really solid way of reinvesting back into our sellers. So frankly, it is easier and faster to sell gear. So there is more support. So we are bringing more buyers to it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, we've been very, very transparent that the things that we're going to do is, like, this year alone, we're going to be investing more in marketing. We have the holidays coming up. We plan on increasing that investment by 30%. We're making sure that we're expanding our support team, which I directly oversee, by an additional 25%, making sure that it's easier to talk to a live human being when you have questions that need immediate answers. And then last but not least, we want to make sure that we're growing our product team, so we can continue to build the sorts of tools that I know that our sellers have been asking for a while. And, it's time for us to go in and deliver on a number of these things. And we ultimately feel that the benefit is going to be with our sellers. They're going to sell more gear. They're going to sell gear faster. And that means cash in the hands of these retailers sooner than they've ever could expect. And that's the goal of any marketplace, frankly.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I get it. You hear feedback from what's going on.
of course.
We talk, we work with a lot of retailers, a lot of online retailers, and we work with a lot of people that really utilize Reverb. And so heard feedback. And
I get it.
Like that. And that was why we wanted to have this conversation, because people have got to understand that, you have to build on what you've done. You guys made a great point. You didn't raise your seller fees for, again, how many years was it?
Like 2000, I mean, we've never raised it ever.
Yeah,
This is
ever.
the first time we've ever done anything like this.
7 or 8 years or 7 years or something like that. Yeah, and so this is the first one. So, but and people hear that okay, you're investing into infrastructure and everything like that, and I think sometimes it just takes people a little bit of time to process that.
Of course.
But the payoff is in the long run, if I'm selling more gear, I'm reaching more people. I think that's ultimately what we need to be doing.
I mean, that's what only comes down to, this is a personal view, but, if you're unhappy with the service, it's not worth paying for. It is always going to be on Reverb to make sure that we are delivering a service that, is helping our sellers list easier, helping our sellers sell faster,
Yes.
helping our sellers do more, like that's business.
No, absolutely. And I will say, and I've used multiple sales channels, and I feel like Reverb is extremely user friendly. I mean, very user friendly. I mean, you do not have to be somebody who's coded for software to be able to walk on there and figure things out. But I would love to hear maybe just an example or two of how you feel you're going to bring more buyers to the table, or how you're going to use the infrastructure or the software being able to be easier to use, so it makes for a better experience.
Yeah. So I can't answer some of those only because I'm not the right person to answer those questions. I don't know how marketing does their job. I know they're fantastic at it. But I know I can tell you, they're going to bring more buyers, and they're investing more. I unfortunately do not know the exact things they're doing, but I can tell you, from a seller standpoint, and I don't want to put the cart before the horse here, but there are a number of things that we will that should be coming out fairly soon, that will be hopefully a very clear indication of how we are moving to make the lives of our sellers easier, leveraging our platform, ideally, increasing sales, accelerating sales, things like that. Mm-hmm. So I can't go into the specifics of that yet, because that's going to come in. It'll make itself known publicly.
Yeah. Well, we're looking forward to hearing. We're looking forward to hearing all of that. So, I mean, I know that Reverb has delivered an excellent experience to a lot of people, and I know a lot of people have taken that bump from COVID-19, and it's been nothing but good news. As people were going, man, what am I going to do? My doors are closed. Man, they had an avenue that they could sell more product online and be safe. They realized they were having great transactions. And so, looking forward to seeing what's coming out, going forward with what you guys are doing. I think will be excellent news.
Totally. I guess it'd be give you a smidge more specifics, but it's obviously we making sure that our sellers' listings get in front of the right buyers is important. And there's a lot of Reverb has changed dramatically over the years, and a lot of the changes aren't necessarily surface level. We don't go out and brag about how we've updated search queries, right? But that's work that obviously we have to do, because we need to know that if you type in something, that it brings you up the right sort of item. An example we always gave is if you go to eBay.com and you type in Fender, you're gonna get a mixture of car parts and guitars.
I know.
But because the music community expects more from us, because we are solely focused on music, it's we do a lot of under the hood work that sellers may not necessarily see, or buyers may not see. All they know is that their sales are increasing, and frankly, that's great. So there's a number of tracks of work we do on that front. We're making sure that shipping becomes an easier thing to do, which is kind of a difficult thing to handle amidst COVID, because just shipping has just been crazy since March. Pretty much.
It's been a little unpredictable sometimes, but people are dealing with it.
We're doing what we can. Although you know what, in the middle of it, I bought way too much during this.
Did you really?
I bought 3 basses, and I've always wanted a Hofner violin bass, and there was a first time woman seller in North Dakota selling her Hofner violin bass, and I got it in 3 days, and I was in Miami at the time. So I got a package from North Dakota to Miami in 3 days. So you know what? Maybe shipping's not as bad.
Yeah, seriously.
Across the board.
That's pretty awesome. But Yeah, so I don't know. I mean,
Mm.
I feel like I could ask questions all day long, but I think a lot of this just has to be, hey, the new seller fees has been implemented August 4th, and now
Hmm.
people are just kind of, they're dealing with that, making changes. Now, hey, this might be unpopular for some people, but I really do think that in the retail industry, online specifically, a lot of the tendencies is to try to discount real fast, and
Yeah.
move more stuff. And I think, man, what would help online retailers is going, hey, not don't discount so much, but man, get a little bit more. Keep the value of the guitars and pedals and amps where they should be.
Yeah.
So in a roundabout way, some of this might be going, okay, I need to do a little bit better of job getting a little bit more because the value's there.
And I mean, frankly, that's exactly what's happening, with Reverb.
Yeah,
The value is more,
yeah,
and if there's one thing I can just harp on for 2 seconds, Nathan,
sure. Take
people
three.
underestimate or people underestimate the value of customer service.
Yeah.
They underestimate the importance that could have.
Mm-hmm.
While they're selling online,
Mm-hmm.
like in almost every last NAM webinar or presentation I give, like one of the talking points is things that work in store work online.
Yeah.
Like if it's taking you 2 days to respond to a message from an interested buyer, what makes you think they're going to buy the product from you as opposed to your competitor?
Yeah.
You don't let someone walk into your store, noodle on a guitar, and let them walk out without talking to them.
Yeah, absolutely. And Reverb is delivering customer service and becoming better at it. So if I'm sitting there going, I've got a question, I can get on there and chat. I can throw
Yeah.
an email, and with adding to infrastructure, I can expect to have an extremely reasonable response rate.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. And one thing, and I'll probably do something about this with the community somewhere down the line, but like we use a chat platform, called Zendesk. It's a
yeah.
popular chat tool, and they gave us some data, like some global data that they saw. They're like, customers to are responding to customer responses faster.
Mm-hmm.
So say you're a customer, you email Reverb because you have a question about something.
Yeah.
We email you back. You are responding 4 times faster
Oh, wow. Okay.
than you were pre-COVID, and that's because people have a bit more time on their
Yeah.
hands.
Sure. They might be sitting at a screen more than they were before, so they're able to do that.
Correct.
But I mean, I think that's all good news. Are these some of the facts you're using to combat? Combat might not be a good word, but I'll use it. Combat people who have a less than favorable view of this. I mean, are you winning people over with some of this information?
I feel that we are, and what I ultimately want to put forward to retailers is like, people's expectations are changing, not just their consumer habits and where they're choosing to buy, but how they're choosing to interact.
Yeah.
So I guess, like, to tie this all together with that, customer service is so important. I just want to remind all the retailers where it's like, you know, this is a race against the clock. People are in front of a computer screen
Yeah.
more often,
Yeah.
and the difference between you getting the sale versus your competitor might be how quickly you respond to someone.
Yeah.
Which is no shocker. That's typically what happens if you were to walk into a store as well.
Yeah.
The sales rep who goes and addresses that person first is likely going to get the sale than the person who, decided they would just wait till the customer came to them.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. The principles apply both in store and online, and that's the message it seems like you're giving.
Yeah, we've got to focus on it.
Yes, absolutely. So, and hey, and you know what? And I feel like we've got some good news too, because Reverb and MIRC have collaborated together with something that's a little bit customer oriented on that. But
you mean it's not the mixtape that we put together, Nathan?
That's right,
not the
man.
mixtape?
We're playing it in our cars and our Camaro with our T-tops down. No, but man, it gave me a reason to get my fishnet football jersey on. So, man, that was a
bring it back
picture.
to crop tops.
That's right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Man, what a horrible picture that would be of me wearing that. Wait, maybe we'll have to do that. I don't know. No, that's a bad idea. That's a really bad idea. So
I'm just letting you talk.
That's right. I'm making myself sound even worse here. So, but Obviously, yeah, on the serious things, yeah, right. But MIRC, no, it's no secret.
Yep.
Obviously, we sell refurbished guitars. We're the largest guitar refurbisher in the world. Man, what a fun thing to say. So, but
Are you really? That's awesome. I didn't know that.
yeah, where really? Oh well, let me give you
Yeah,
our
I
spiel.
did.
No, I'm just kidding. But
Yeah,
but
I believe it because I've seen your operations.
yeah.
Fantastic. So,
Well, well, yeah, and to the level that we do things, we are. But obviously, our dealers and our customers use Reverb as a big deal. But you guys were getting a lot of questions and everything on, hey, what are these guitars? What's going on with them? So tell us just a little bit about your side of why we decided to collaborate on this.
Totally, absolutely. I mean, so first and foremost, obviously, I love working with MIRC, and
Yes.
we've had a great relationship over the years,
Yeah.
and the long and the short of it is, people take serial numbers very seriously,
Yeah.
and whenever we had an inbound question, someone feeling like, oh, why do they have to have like a new stamp on it or something? We had to explain, oh, look, this is MIRC. They're a great company.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got a really awesome instrument, and we found that we were having to, frankly, explain how great a company you all are, the great work that you all do, kind of far too often. We're like, well, you know what? Like, wouldn't it be better for customers to know this information about MIRC before they purchase it, so they know exactly what they're getting, as opposed to getting something and then feeling, is this what I purchased?
Yeah.
So again, in the spirit of setting expectations, it made sense to find a wonderful way to highlight, you're a great company, the great work that you and everyone there, they do on a daily basis, and then also making sure that our customers who are purchasing from your dealers on Reverb know exactly what they're getting, know the story behind it, and know that they're also supporting that retailer who's also supporting you all. And I know you have a great relationship with your retailers as well. So it's a great thing to celebrate, frankly.
Yeah, and it was great, and it was when you first originally brought it up. I think we were like, oh my goodness, this is a great idea. And it is, and it's education. We're trying to go through a period of time where we can educate, and obviously collaborating with Reverb on that too.
Yeah.
You guys have it on your website is great tool to be able to educate what exactly we're doing. So this was just implemented this month in August. So obviously this is something we'll roll forward and see some results of it as we're going forward. But man, we appreciate that immensely that we could do that together.
I'm sorry that it took so long. I knew we talked about it earlier at NAMM when the world seemed normal.
I know it did seem normal, and then it's like everything disappeared, and then we came back around, and hey, we made it work, and we finished it.
We finished it.
Victory. So anyways,
the album.
Yeah. Oh man. But anyways, but man, I'll tell you what, I feel like we've had a great conversation. I want to be respectful of your time, but man, in all of these things that we're doing, anything new with Reverb outside of what we talked about, you'd want listeners to know about, or anything for them to think about?
Only that the holidays are coming.
Yes.
All right. Which, we should expect that holidays, we tend to see significant volume, and we expect retailers to as well. The earlier you can get your inventory up in time for the holidays, like you really should have every last thing that you want to sell during the holidays up like by the middle of October.
Okay.
Like give yourself 6 weeks to figure out the best way to do it. And that doesn't mean stop listing after October, because you might get some new gear in that you want to list. Yeah. But you should be done with a lot of the heavy lifting by like middle October.
Yeah.
Because you are not going to have the time to do it come the holidays. You're going to be too busy dealing with customers and setting out orders.
That's right. That's exactly right, which is a great message for even coming onto our side of things, where people need to think about, they need to be making those purchases now. Making them now, getting stuff in, putting together a plan, and being efficient about it. So if you want to be up and running by the middle of October. So, you know what? Actually, go ahead.
No, I just don't agree. Just using different words. So I agree with you, Nathan. Great talking points.
That's right. And the only thing is, I don't know the answer to this, but I wanted to at least ask: is there anything? It's now been about 1 year since Etsy acquired Reverb. Is there anything that you guys, that Etsy and Reverb are doing to do anything? I don't know, collaborate together or integrate anything together?
they have been a great company to learn from. They obviously have a very successful two-sided marketplace as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nice to know that as we make decisions about our business moving forward, it's great to know that, hey, we can go talk to the people that own us for their insight, which is nice. I don't have to beg people, please talk to me, give me your best practices. I will say though, and we said this a year ago, and it's been true, but we operate independently.
Yeah.
The things that Reverb are doing and the changes and the improvements are all coming from within. The same great people who have built Reverb to what it was are still the same great people who are continuing to make Reverb even better than what it is.
Yeah.
And that's exciting. Yeah. And I'm grateful for that.
No, absolutely. I feel like people need to realize that in the midst of the decision you guys enrolled out August 4th, that the power behind everything that Etsy has to bring to the table and the new decisions, is it's going to improve. This is a long-term investment that people can benefit from. I mean, because you want to be selling well 2, 3, 5, 8 years from now, and these are the kind of decisions that have to be made to ensure that that's possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And they've been great because, like COVID, again, nobody would have known that this was going to happen. It's great to know that we also have a partner in Etsy to collaborate on best ways to manage this for our customer bases, and while I assume there's very little overlap between our customer bases, so I'm sure there's some. I know Ian's a big Macrame fan, so this makes sense. Yeah.
You looked at me like, what?
Yeah. But when you're troubleshooting, again, it's nice to know that, we have two groups of people coming together to figure out the best way to solve a problem, which I don't think that's a bad thing in today's day and age.
No, not at all. And all you have to do is remind yourself of trying to use websites 5-10 years ago and how bulky they were, or there was nobody to get a hold of. And that's changing. Obviously, online experiences have to be almost in real time to get people to feel comfortable to use it. So, and I feel like Reverb has done a very good job doing that. So,
well, I appreciate that, and it's been one heck of a journey, and I expect it to continue to be because I wouldn't want to be anywhere else right now.
That's right.
Talking to you.
Yeah, that's right, man. Well, hey, I would love it if we could get to the point where we could actually do another interview in person again. So, or just conversation or lunch or that really good coffee. Seb, man, we love having you on, man. And thank you. I know you guys have a busy days and for working us in, and I hope the invitation that we can put it out there to you that maybe we can check in every 6 months or so, just because you guys are an integral part of what we do. And so we just want to be a part of it. So
Nathan, for you, almost anything.
Almost anything, man. Well, I would like the list of what I can't have. So I'd like to know what that is.
Sounds good.
All right.
It'll be the first comment, when you post the podcast.
Okay.
The few listeners, so all the viewers can also.
All right, my friend, man. I appreciate it.
Cheers, man.
Stay safe, stay healthy, and man, we'll talk to you real soon.
The Music Retail Show is brought to you by MIRC LLC, providing solutions for the musical instrument community by being a reliable source for diverse music products. If you need inventory for your music store, pawn shop, or e-commerce site, go to mircweb.com to find out more.